Okay, I want to talk to you about before painting your final piece, I want you to do a value scale and try adjusting your color's intensity. For supplies, you're going to need a paintbrush, water, paper towel, a mixing tray, a color of your choice that you're going to either tint up with white or shade down with black. You can also grab a secondary color that you're going to use to adjust the intensity of your first color. So to start, I'm going to use my red at just a full intensity or full value. And you can also use this as practice for creating neat lines. You could do squares or circles, but if you notice, if I'm trying to paint a square, I'm painting with the side of my brush, not the tip of my brush. Then I'm going to mix on my mixing tray a little bit of red. Actually, I'm going to get like a blob of red on there. And then I'm going to start to tint it down. So first, scrape off as much paint as I can, rinse it in the water. You don't want to contaminate your white. And then you can scoop up a little bit of white. So I kind of just eyeball it, like maybe this much white to start. And I'm going to mix that in. And each time I do this, I'm going to put in another blob of white. So now I've got this dark red, but it's getting a little more pink. I'm going to do my next box in my value scale. Okay, rinse it. Add another blob of white. I totally got some red in there, but it's getting a little bit lighter pink. This is not the best brush. I might get a little bit crisper lines on my squares. Now I'm going to mix another blob, going a little faster here. White. The idea is eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm just seeing very, very pale pink and to white. Alright, so I'm going to continue this, and you can see the progression, but that's the idea of that. You could also do it the opposite. Instead of tinting it up with white, you could shade it down with black. So either or. Then I also want you to try working with intensity, the intensity of your color. For this it's the same thing, but you're just choosing a secondary color instead of white or black. So if I was starting with red, I can't tell what you can see in the screen. Red, and then I'm going to do a second color in there. So I'm working with yellow, and if you know about color mixing, as you add yellow to red, you're going to get a color that's more orange. So you're attempting to lighten this each time as you go. So now I've got a red-orange. I'll add some more yellow. My orange gets lighter and lighter. Now the point of doing this, learning about value and intensity, is when you're working on your folk art design, you could use this as a way to create like an optical illusion or depth. This example is not quite finished yet, but I used tinting and shading to adjust this, to show some value or shadow. So like on the blue, I used tinted lighter blue on one side and then a darker blue on the other, so it could look like it's got a highlight hitting it. This yellow I tinted with black to get this kind of shadowy color. So you could work with that as you're working on your neo art, folk art. All right? That's all. Bye.